and this time around, they're going with Shen.
Shen, you would assume, up towards the top side of the map, going to be played into the Camille, often considered a bit of a counter.
Now make his way towards the top side of the map, but no camps to take.
You can also see priority in the bot, bit of skirmishing going on.
Vivid very, very low, might be taken down here. EDG looking to find that early aggro. They've got it for first blood.
And this is the duo that we were talking about
Not
in the...
quite yet. Summoner spell was still down there in the mid lane in the form of that barrier as Mako goes in for the engage onto Vivid. There's no way to get out of this when it's another free kill going over the way of EDG in the bottom side of the map. Evie looking to make the dive topside onto Ray is going to be potentially outplayed as Ray nearly finds the kill and forces him to flash back out.
Action happens across the board as iBoy and Mako find another 2 versus 2 kill. Clearlove now coming bot to try and secure some extra early leads.
Oh, they are snowballing this bottom lane completely out of control, Vedius. It's Clearlove setting up that kill there, making sure he grabs. Now as Steel makes another appearance here into the top side. Ray's trying to hold on, get himself out of this one, drops the Spirit Refuge as the Hextech ultimatum is issued. Makes his way back underneath the turret, but is it going to be enough? Steel's taken very low. One more turret shot will bring him down. He's completely taken over this bottom part of the map. Vivid and Udapon trying to fight back in the 2 versus 2, recognizing their opponents are caught between 2 turrets. So there's no way to just walk out on this one, but iBoy's got no intention of getting himself out. There's the stand united I'm talking about. It's never a fair fight with Shen, and that fair fight is a long dream away as Vivid now heads for the hills and runs as fast as his little legs are gonna take him. But I don't think that Thresh wants to head back into bottom lane anytime soon. iBoy making sure that he supplies
power up in the top lane, and EDG will do what they can to wait for him.
Clearlove not finding a lot with that explosive cast, but EDG now still looking to go in, maybe find some sort of a fight here. Mako goes in, drops down that ultimate, continuing to chase after the Heimerdinger. Scout's not able to find the ulti of his own, still looking to go in even further. Hextech ultimatum down to Scout. DFM still looking to fight back. They may take down Scout, but they've already lost their own mid laner, and they're running for their lives. iBoy's able to find the Void Seeker. It's still going to be a 2-for-1 fight going the way of EDG as they'll chase Vivid to the wrong side of the map. He's still looking to get away somewhere, but Clearlove's got the barrel. He'll walk into the brush. Vivid, I don't think you're getting out of this one, buddy.
Vivid, unfortunately, lamb to the slaughter as he's doing what he can.
Play around as the tier 1 turret will now be beset by Shelly as bottom side Detonation FocusMe look to make the 2 versus 1 happen here yet again. Ray nowhere near a turret, gonna be hard pressed to get him
this during the group stages, but unfortunately the game unfolded as we see another fight up top.
Scout's going straight in for the dive here. Stand united means he's gonna have backup here in just a moment. Ray goes in for the taunt, can't quite find it, but he's still got the damage to go on a rampage and take the turret down as well. That is
setting up a bit of deep vision. In fact, maybe even play towards the bot side because you can see already they have a huge minion wave, a lot of deep wards covering that area of the map.
And just get that much more move speed, that much more ability to roam around between these lanes, throw down wards, set up traps, and make it, especially for 2 teams that have had the weaknesses historically that these 2 have. Ray now finding himself in that Hextech ultimatum yet again. Subjugate going to be used to shred those resistances. Pillar comes out. Evie looking to go even further here, but Mako showed up to make it a fair fight. Drops the ulti down onto Evie, who's now going to find himself left alone and hung out to dry as the shutdown comes through.
Bot lane, and because of all the vision that EDG have controlled towards the bot side of the map, it means that Evie is forced to play back. He's forced to show that respect, and that gives EDG another tab, and now they're looking for a fight.
Want to go in here. There's the ultimate coming out from the Irelia. Heimerdinger will be pulled to safety by the Lantern there. Udapon looking to get himself away, but iBoy's coming in with the killer instinct. Clearlove looking to engage, can't quite find the cast just yet, has to go into the stasis. Ray's going to be tanking up the turret the entirety of the time. Still taken very low as EDG goes dominating for their top laner, grabbing the kill onto that enemy support. That's 1 for more off of this one. Not content just grabbing the 1 kill, they need even more. Stepping up, looking to put some damage onto the turret as they're trying to get the kill onto Evie, and they've already got it. Steel going to be in danger of dropping here next. The double kill goes over to Scout, who's now behind enemy lines, but totally comfortable hanging out as Udapon drops to Clearlove. I would look to see him improve on for the next game if he plays the champion again, but now the hooks are coming in. Mako's not a man who's going to be missing too much this game as they go in even further. iBoy's trying to find the damage. A killer instinct rings true to the name, and they pick up the kill on.
But Ray is going to deny that opportunity away from him.
Yeah, Ray won't let him anywhere even remotely close to the Baron Pit, and now that the objective is secure, Evie's coming in and trying to fight Ray, but this isn't really a fight you can do anything with. Evie's going to be forced to flash out of that one as Mako will continue to chase. CC is available. Ray going further forward. EDG still has 2 more tier 2 turrets to take down, and they're sieging up both of those right now. Middle one falls immediately as Scout is supplying the pressure onto the top lane, and that one will fall here now as well. iBoy and Mako continuing to apply the pressure in the mid lane as Scout also continues the split push. Detonation FocusMe not able to find the opportunity to pull the trigger onto either one of these split push situations. Scout now going to be the one who's engaged on, goes into the stasis. Clearlove looking to disengage things with the cask. iBoy's into the back line. It's a killing spree already for Scout as EDG is running everyone down. Ray goes godlike. This should be the ace. Detonation FocusMe is completely wiped out, and EDG will march it down and find their win.
A clean 5-0 for EDG in the base of Detonation FocusMe. 20 kills to 2, and EDG are looking to secure game 1.
27 minutes and 45 seconds, I said, was the average game time, Vedius, and EDG has been well above average this game in every metric. They find the Nexus, 20 kills to 2.
Ooh, and they're going to lock in the Ezreal as well. So we talked about this as a potential. I don't think this is the most lane-dominant champion against a Tristana, but
ultimate of his own. So he decides to use the Predator here. They do go in for it, looking to make this one happen. Shroud goes down, damage comes through, and there's your first blood for EDG.
And there's that level 6. We were just talking about Captain Flowers. A great... Ooh, actually, he wants to be
race car Skarner, beep, beep, here we go. Still looking to make it into a 2v2, though. Detonation FocusMe committing really hard. Turning things around. It's 1-for-1. Now, Steel versus Scout. Who's going to win out in that fight? Scout's running back further and further here into the game. Bottom side, it's EDG again, just in control, but Vivid's looking to change that right now. iBoy going really far in. Gets the kill. Can he get the reset and get out? I don't think so. Steel's grabbing himself the counter kill.
And we
win against these larger region squads. And it looks like this time around, they seem to have found a strategy that works a little bit better for them as Evie goes in, finds the wall up through the flash anyway. Ray's going to be eating yet another rock. Evie still has flash available. A little bit more damage might do it here in the mid lane. Sarah is going to be taken very low, still going to be kept alive until the Ignite takes him down. Killing spree over to Scout. Steel still walking himself away, but Vivid will be the sacrificial Alistar as the damage comes in and the double
to spin in the favor of EDG once more.
Ocean Drake over to EDG. Feels good for these guys that he needs to be dead too.
Yes, he certainly does. Now, Evie goes in once more. He has no support from his team, but here's Scout.
Ray's trying to turn things around here. Fires off the harpoon, not going to find it. Nocturne ulti comes off there. Steel's just trying to buy a little bit more time here for his top laner. Not going to do it.
Danger.
Saros being collapsed on by multiple members here. Remember, Steel has no ulti available to get into this one. Heimerdinger's in some trouble. However, the flash gets him away for now. Skarner making the pull happen back on the Steel here as well. Looking to make it a 2-fer.
Vivid gets ahead. Saros is 0-4-1 right now. And while initially, during the laning phase, Scout needed help from his jungler, he's more than capable of just finding solo kills across the board. Now he has his eyes set on Udapon.
Up into the top side. 80 carry versus Akali. You guys don't need me to tell you how that one goes. As mid lane, it's going to be another big push continuing for EDG. Tier 2 turret falls courtesy of Shelly herself. She'll be sent back to the void right thereafter, but Ray is making plays happen on the bottom.
Team fight situation, so DFM are once again kind of relying on Edward Gaming to make that crucial mistake to try and
lose themselves that Ocean Drake as well. EDG collecting that one, and look at the EDG
line. It could happen.
That's fair, but considering he's got
wait,
the Shroud,
wait.
EDG knows something is up. They're going to find their way into the pit as it drops down below 2,000 HP. Detonation FocusMe loses Jungler! And blue team has stolen Baron Nashor. The words on your screen reign true. The plan seemed so solid, but Steel was getting so far out of control, you had to make some sort of a last-ditch effort. But they will not find success. Instead, they're now down even more severely than they were in game number 1, as EDG will look to make even more happen this game, looking to make the push here into the enemy base now. Vivid's going to be taken low, tries to get himself away with the ultimate. Bray's on the front line causing havoc with a machine gun, is going to be taken very low as Clearlove grabs the kill into Steel. Ray gets himself back in time as Scout is whirling those commas around and finding enough damage to take down everyone. It's the ace for EDG. It's the win in 22 minutes, and they will take us to match point.
EDG looked so convincing for so long. DFM tried to get the sneak Baron, but it was not enough. EDG locked down game 2.
This team was fast in game number 1, but I really like the fact that they have Shin, though, not just for the fact that it pairs so well with the Nocturne in terms of what they can both do separately, but what they can do maybe too just yet. iBoy is low on mana.
Ooh, but this could be
Mako
good.
Still very far forward, though. If Steel comes down here, you can make a play on this. See if they can find it. Steel coming in from behind. We're going to go for that shadow path, finds its way onto Mako, going to be taking him very low, knocks him up into the air. CC comes down, and for the first time this series, first blood over to DFM. iBoy gets one in return, and now Haro's made his way down into the fight here as well, looking to grab a couple more auto attacks down onto Steel. Resonating strike finds Udapon, and this will likely be blood all over the place. It's 3 for 2 overall. They just have to sit on their back foot.
Saras now taking a bit of damage. EDG doing what they do best, flash it.
Oh, looks to make the play, the flash out.
Got him.
One more tickle, do it. Scout's got the solo kill. Like EDG just has the pick all figured out. Haro walking forward now, gonna eat a lot of damage there from Steel. That's not a fight you're gonna win, man.
Him.
Solo kill. Looking for the opportunity to go in here. Steel's gonna decide to start things off on his own. Can they find the CC? They've got iBoy knocked up into the air. Steel grabs the first kill, and they'll walk on, but getting first turret money in your pockets 8 minutes into the game is fantastic for this team, who now have themselves a gold lead.
Great thrown towards him.
Yes.
And at 0-2-0 right now, EDG find the kill advantage once more.
I mean, a lot of
I
it
don't know
too,
if DFM want to go for this.
Oh, I think we're gonna have a fight for it, Vedius. Saros is coming in from the side, looking to find the damage. Steel goes into the fight already, looking to make something happen. It's a multi-man charm coming in through the quickness, but Vivid's already down. Steel having to get himself away on this one. Flash out from Saros as well. Ray goes over the wall, still looking to chase after, find that CC. As Evie's gonna be looking to block people off, finding the taunt, and Horo's taken out by Udapon. Evie still looking to get himself away from this one. iBoy trying to provide.
Pretty good at killing champions in the side lane. Now Saros.
Oh, Saros knocked back into EDG, and Mako knows how to make those grabs.
There should be a tower going to EDG.
No Heimerdinger turrets to kill. Might as well kill real turrets instead. EDG takes themselves their second. Always somebody with somebody else. It's way harder for Steel to make the plays happen, as now they might be able to make this one go through onto Scout, who is going to be caught out, taken down very low. Shutdown credit over to DFM, goes over to Vivid on that one. And a vision, and start making things scarier for Detonation FocusMe.
We've got to remember, though, 17.5 minutes in, the game is still very close. Only 2,000 gold separates the two teams.
Just yoinks that blue buff away. That's such an aggravating thing to deal with as a jungler, but EDG are going to say, that's the least of your worries, boys. Steel's in some trouble as the shutdown credit goes over to Haro. Saros trying to get himself away now as the damage explodes Vivid as well. They're trying to find anything in return. They'll grab the kill on the Scout, but they'll lose their top laner in the process. DFM lose that fight. 1 for 3. EDG coming out on top yet again. Mako's taken down by Udapon, making it 2 for 3 overall. But can he get away from Ray? He'll chase after him with the CC. So many slows, so many stuns, so much damage, so long Udapon. This time around, they don't want to risk that yet again, as Ray will take down the bottom side tier 1. That is about maybe making something happen here in the mid lane. Vivid's about to face check some nastiness. Gets kicked back. He's in some serious danger here, and Haro will take him out.
And another quick pick goes in favor of EDG. The Drake is just has just spawned, and they could look to secure that, but with the mid turret being so low, this should be another easy objective for EDG to secure. Ambitious if they want to keep pushing this, but they have a lot of their ultis available.
They've got ultis available. The big engage mechanism from their opponents in the Recon ultimate is not available because he's still dead for another 10 seconds. EDG can just brute force down this inhibitor turret. Ray continues to go in, but Haro said no. We're getting...
I like the confidence from EDG to just group up and push down mid, just because they know that, hey, your Recon is gone and we don't think your fight is 4v5.
See a blue ward being placed down. Do you decide to fight this now? It looks like EDG is going to turn it around instead on their own volition. Steel's taken very low, flashing himself away. Vivid looking to go in, find the team fight CC. Does manage to get it down onto a couple, still going to be taken down by Scout. Heavy goes into the back line to find iBoy. That'll at least clean up some of the damage on the side of DFM, but EDG may yet be able to take him down. Ray's going to solo out Udapon if he isn't careful, as Evie finally falls to Mako, and Ray is going in and claps them right back into the spawn platform.
And EDG made the smart call there, not committing to the Baron, not running the risk of it getting stolen, immediately turning onto the jungler, finding a kill and finding the fight. They now have 4 members alive. Ray is just zoning away Saros as EDG looks to secure the Baron.
EDG had quite a lot of tunnel vision there onto Saros. Two different people also pulled away to help Ray as Haro frantically pings Baron and says, no, I need help with this. But they will come back together. They'll secure the Baron. They'll secure the kill onto the enemy Heimerdinger. They'll secure themselves an absolutely massive 5-digit gold lead yet again. Down the inhibitor turret in mid lane. So if they can push up this wave bottom, shove this in, take bottom lane inhibitor, you just immediately walk it 2 feet to the north and take the mid lane inhibitor as well. Seems to be the plan as Mako's on the front line there, looking for playmaking opportunity with the barrels. Plenty of minions lined up here, pouring damage at that turret already as Ray decides it's time to go in. Heavy's already been deleted, and with your frontliner gone, there's not much of a chance to make a coherent fight happen. EDG are into the base. They've got the enemy Shen down. They're looking for inhibitor number 1. Haro goes in, looking to grab himself a kick. They've got some damage down, and Vivid's out of the picture. EDG are moments away from winning this game and taking this series. Nexus turret number 1 now under pressure. DFM trying to hold on at the very edge of the base in the fountain. They've lost their AD carry. They'll lose this game, and EDG are looking to end them here. Saros finally falls. iBoy grabs the kill, but dies on the steps of the fountain itself. Minions putting the work into the remaining Nexus turrets. It's steel against the world, but the world will win today. EDG will take this series 3-0 and advance to the main stage.
Welcome indeed to World's Cooldown, where we break down the day and look towards the matches coming up tomorrow. With 2 knockout series on the books, let's see how today played out, and I think we should start with what we just saw. EDG versus Detonation FocusMe, 3-0, and Raz, you were saying right as that game ended, it looks like EDG is just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, because that was the most confident I've seen from Haro so far at Worlds Play-ins. We needed to see that. He got in this Lee Sin game. For a lot of people, they'll look at that and say, well, that game doesn't count, but for him to be able to come onto a game that was nearly assured in the series and prove his worth going into group stage, really well done.
I think it absolutely counts, especially when you compare it to the game he had against Infinity, right? This is his first Worlds win, and that is actually meaningful as they move on to the group stage where the teams get better and better. And I'm going to regret this the moment I say it, but coming into Worlds, I had EDG as a top 6 team at the World Championship, so they need to look convincing during the play-in stage, and I think today they did that.
Well, and I think when we just saw the scores there, that's actually what you want to see from a team that's coming in from a seed from the major region, and I feel like C9, of course, had a bit more trouble with Gambit, so, you know, you can make your own conclusions off of that, and we will in just a bit.
What conclusions would those be, Shot?
Well, I'm going to ask you in just a bit, but I think the key here is that those are 2 very different best-of-5s, and possibly the EDG scenario is the one you want to have, right? And especially Haro, you mentioned it already. He came in, he dropped that game versus Infinity. You said he needed to shake off some stage jitters. Well, playing a Lee Sin and playing it almost to perfection will probably do that for you.
It's funny. Usually, you know, you'd expect people to come in with the Lee Sin to begin with and see if it fails to begin with, then you hop onto something else. But some of the LPL junglers have been using it in game clutch moments. Haro is an excellent example. I know at some point we'll start rolling the highlight packages, and the fact that he's able to get the excellent, you know, Lee Sin flash alt kicks into another member to get the execute damage. Just the small, like the details like that is just a good reason why you'd love to see him. And we didn't get to see too much of his kindred. We'll see more of his carry picks as we go on in the tournament.
Well, speaking about carries for EDG looking forward, Jad, both Scout and iBoy has been super impressive, and I think will be serious threats for anyone they go up against.
Exactly. Last year, iBoy was that AD carry prodigy, and Scout was this incredibly inconsistent, high-risk, high-reward mid laner. We're seeing more of the high reward and less of the cost of the risks they were taking. The Akali game, I think, was very high risk, but it was his best game of the series. I thought he was the top performer on the team in the regular season for EDG, but also here in play-ins, so he's been able to carry a lot of that success through, and he had a really good day today.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm really looking forward to seeing in the group stage. We touched on it already beforehand, but I really believe that this could be kind of, and it sounds silly to say breakout because he's always been a fantastic mid laner, but I do want him to have this like coming of age moment on an international stage in a tournament like Worlds.
Exactly. There's a big difference between being the guy who subs in for Pawn, which is what he was in 2016, subs in now with Pawn, or being the guy that gets a CS lead on Faker to ultimately lose the game, versus being the primary carry on a successful Worlds team. So this is still an opportunity for him to break out, even if he's been around for a while.
And honestly, he provides focus for the squad, something they've been lacking throughout the year. Bringing in between Clear Love and Haro, what it is he simplifies the game. With how talented he is, how well he's playing right now, during the regular season, it was just play through Scout, and you'll find your win mid lane, and then throughout the team fights, iBoy will start coming through. Now the AD carry meta is really starting to come up. iBoy is coming in a lot more earlier than you would expect during the, in comparison to the regular season. And so the tag team between Scout and iBoy is honestly what you have to be able to track for this team.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know it by seeing his player cam right there, but I feel like he's a really arrogant player, iBoy. Like, even just the rocket jump he did very early on here, like, he did disrespect his opponents in a number of places, was not necessarily punished for it during this series, even not getting the Xayah ult off on a slow Heimer grenade that was coming towards it, but he still had some of these big pop-off moments, especially in this game one when they had the Nautilus versus Thresh matchup, punished really hard early. Raz pointed out that he delays his ultimate a lot on Kai'Sa, which is very effective, and I think he had another good series.
Yeah.
And I remember people out there, global audience, will know Mako and Deft as a duo being excellent during the international stages. Mako and iBoy is something hilarious to watch. Because a lot of the time, even if you listen in to the comms for the team, it's Mako pulling him back and letting him go when it happens. So as you were mentioning, the fact that iBoy just jumps in at the end as a janitorial, that's where the multi-kill comes off. You can usually hear Mako say, okay, now you can go.
Yeah.
And now it's time.
Tells him when he can go in.
Too many times during the regular season, does it not pay off, and he gets the chance. You can really tell the relationship between them near the end is really paying off.
Yeah, and I think most people know this by now, but Mako has been the guy that for the last 2 years has been trained to be the new captain over Clear of that lineup and the shot caller. So I can only imagine what it's like to have to shot call all the rest and have to keep this loose kind of puppy who's wanting to go run forward in lane. But now, I don't want to sell the other members of EDG short, because I'm looking forward to where they could end up in groups, right? And let's just say they end up in the Team Liquid Mad KT group. That could be very interesting. And besides Scout and iBoy, I think Haro was impressive in this game. He's had his moments. Clear Love is always there, of course, and is a solid rock. Ray has been phenomenal, phenomenal at times. Mako, even from a mechanical perspective and a counterpick perspective in the support, all of a sudden, this is shaping up, as you say, as a top 6 or more team, as a very, very scary lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which group they eventually get drawn into. If all of the favorites win, it's going to be a between that Group A or Group C. But in the Group C that you just mentioned, I think they're absolutely competitors in that group. I think especially with the growth that the LPL has had this year. Probably not for first. I wouldn't predict it that way just because I have KT as my favorite for the World Championships. But I think going up against Team Liquid, iBoy has great mechanics, right? Scout, if they play through mid lane, could potentially go up against Pobelter in a really fortuitous way. But the worry for me with EDG is you see all the positives in the play-in stage, but you don't see as many of the negatives. And they were the 5th place team during a lot of the LPL summer split. They had an identity crisis in the year figuring out how to play. Like, it worked in that game when Ray is solo killing people like he's on a carry when he's actually on a tank, right? Because he had all the gold, and that's how he really wants to play. But that's just not possible against a lot of these other teams. And if they can't craft the right team compositions, they don't necessarily have a great mix of player strengths that they can consistently hit on.
And on top of that, they're, of course, also fighting against this whole EDG never got past quarterfinals at Worlds or won that best of 5. Now they have, of course, but going into groups and going up against the top dogs is a whole different story. So I think they have a lot to fight up against. But Raz, it is my feeling that with some of that new blood, like iBoy and with Scout coming into his prime time in this World Championship, this could be a different story. How do you feel it as an LPL expert?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I always get burnt. Last time round, every year it comes through, I have EDG coming out of the group stages. Last time round was obviously just it was an unfortunate period for them when it comes down to shaking nerves. So I think that they're putting in a good amount of effort in that venture. I think Team Liquid has a tough draw. I think North America has a tough draw.
Would have, yeah.
I think with Team Liquid, if it goes down to that versus EDG, that the individual talent, Scout versus Pobelter, is going to be a rough one. I think that Ray matches up well with Impact. And I think the individual talent coming in from Xmithy, the best of the West jungler, versus Haro and Clear Love. When it comes to team fighting, I need to see Team Liquid get challenged in that one, where EDG, They definitely got challenged in the LPL time again with team fights. So I would love to see that coming into the group stages, but I have EDG on that.
Do you want a small reply before we move on, or?
I'd rather have G2 and Team Liquid's group.
Well,
As a
Yeah, there we go.
I think a lot of people would. There we go. So we'll see how that plays out. Then let's move on for our next, conversation about the match that we saw now a couple of hours ago between North America's Cloud9 and the LCL's Gambit Esports. Jad, of course, you weren't here to analyze it, but it went all the way to 5 games. I just want to preface this with a little food for thought, right, before we go into this. We're obviously looking at the C9 up as a lineup that is or an organization that is super experienced with some members that have been there. Now that it's gone to 5 games, and now that we saw some close games in the playing stage, should we not just look at it with a different lens in that they have 3 rookies that have not been here? And should we then possibly look at it a bit differently? That's the only thing I want to throw out there because I know we have our doubts, right? That's the only.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can start. I was ready for all of the flame and the jokes if they wouldn't have made it. And you can still make the jokes, right? 5 games, that moves it to 9 in the play-in stage. They're getting as much possible practice. By the way, this is our 3rd seed, not our 2nd seed. Don't worry. Just wait until we get to the group stage. But the reality is C9 was seen by most as the 2nd best team in North America, and that they were supposed to be able to roll over this Gambit team. But I like the point you bring up about the inexperience of the rookies, because that is very real, and so often that is looked past. Outside of the NALCS studio, Blabber and Licorice hadn't really had good games, right? They got 3-0'd in the finals against Team Liquid. And then when they came back here, then they were able to beat TSM. So I think actually getting settled will be important, and they should play a little bit better come group stage. But the inexperience, I think, shows in a lot of those moments when they can't really play more than just the one way.
Well, I think we should have put that out there. I'm glad we did, and then now we can move on and look at kind of the things we actually do need to see change, or the strengths they can work off.
I'll go out and say that I think Licorice is surprisingly really settled in coming into the play-ins. He's come out, he's eaten a lot of bans from the enemy team. The team really respect his picks. So Urgot versus the Urgot versus Aatrox matchup, he has it down packed, where they're now even taking away the Lissandra because of him. So there were a few moments where he had bad moments, rough moments, but I felt like he was a standout performer alongside.
He also had a game-winning play with the Lissandra, right? So I think for him, there's definitely very much positives to build on.
Yeah, Licorice was a big contributor to all of their wins in their series. It was a 5-game series.
Yes.
But the games they lost were relatively close and drawn out, and the games they won were stomps. So it was a decisive 3-2, as decisive you can possibly make that. And his champion select threat is going to be a boon for them when they move into the later stages, because there's also the chance, right, and especially with EDG or a lot of these other teams, you don't want to show that much in the play-in when victory is supposed to be a certainty. C9 got pushed, and I think in that last game, saw what they really wanted to do. They want to play Ryze mid, Kai'Sa bot lane, Alistair, right, for Zeyzal, stuff like that.
And I think the positive there is when they do play that, they look much better, and they look actually very, very intimidating. And one of the things there is Sneaky, the guy that's been there forever. For me, again, brought home the bacon for C9, especially in that last game.
Yeah, he's been the most consistent member of C9.
My ear.
Exactly. Yeah, literally. But during the play-ins, he's been doing very well for the team on the Kai'Sa. The real question mark is when the Draven started to come through. The first pick, when they were secured in group stages, I thought that was just hiding picks. Suddenly you bring it out in the best of 5, and you can still come out and say that maybe they were looking past Gambit in the series, but it really feels like, for whatever reason, they feel like the Draven Thresh lane domination is how they want to play it out. I wonder if that's what they want to bring into supposedly the group of death when they do get drawn in.
Yeah, exactly. And what he points out there is that if the favorites win tomorrow, so if G-Rex and G2 win tomorrow, C9 will be going into Group B, which is the R&D Samsung Vitality Group, which is seen as the group of death. However, Sneaky, 6th year at the World Championship, has only failed to make the quarterfinals once, and that was in 2015. So he showed it in that Game 5 of the series. He is a clutch, untiltable performer, is what it really feels like in these big moments. So I don't think they're going to be pulling out Draven Thresh when they're up against Uzi Ming but
It's not gonna
it
happen.
never hurts to have it in your back pocket,
It
right?
doesn't hurt. Two more things I want to bring up about C9 after what we saw today. We saw now the Blabber after 2 games. Okay, we'll bring Svenskeren in. We will see what we do. We heard from Reaper beforehand. We are going to bring him in just so he gets a couple of stage games.
Yeah.
Looking at everything, we have like the glaring mistakes that Blabber made, but I think he had a pretty good performance overall if we look at everything. And is this now turning into kind of a strength? Because we talk so much about this Fnatic 6-man roster, right? Or other people. But is this now turning in for you guys to like a valid 6-man roster? Or is Blabber still a risk factor?
So I don't know how you feel about this, Jet, but this is giving me RNG vibes. Literally, Karsa and MLXG. Blabber, when he came in, there is the stark benefit of just, you know where the fights are starting.
Yeah.
Blabber is very much headstrong, where if there is a lack of direction beforehand, there's certainly direction now, and that's what I really favor
There's
with
only
Blabber.
one direction.
He is, and it's a good band.
Yeah.
The fact that he just goes forward, so I really like that coming out of Blabber, but I think the better of the two, funny enough, is Svenskeren. In the more consistent, slower games, just because a lot of times you can pick apart some of Blabber's play and saying you came in too early, but they're there first, and that's what I like about Blabber.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I do think it depends how you look at it if you're trying to decide is it a strength or not. What it is it's an ability to cover up each other's weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because people forget that Svenskeren was playing really badly in the summer split before Blabber came in. So I don't think C9 has an ideal jungler right now. You would love it if you had a guy who could give your team direction and was consistent. They don't have that. Blabber's an inconsistent player who gives them direction. And then Svenskeren can still be the calming presence, but he's not been performing at a Karsa level, which is what I think they would want in an ideal world, which is why they're still playing both.
All right. Final thing before we move on. Jensen, today, I don't think was very impressive. Do we have any reason for concern, Jet? After, usually when you watch him in the NALCS, he is a very consistent and good factor for C9. This seemed a bit out of character.
Yeah, I think it is a moment for concern because Jensen has actually struggled in a lot of high-pressure situations in the past. It's another one of those things where it was nice having Golden Glue there. Obviously, teams can only bring a 6-man roster to the World Championship. That is part of the rules, and he is, again, the sole starter. I think there's nothing they can do about it, but they're not happy about how he played today.
Okay, Raz?
I would agree with that. I think that there's stark moments. He'll look at that. Hopefully he gets better at that, but it's a hard thing to really get over nerves in those situations.
It is. Hopefully now some of the jitters are off now that he played in the playing stage. So C9 and EDG are through, and for more on how he locked his spot in groups for EDG, Avali caught up with his top laner. Sorry, Avali.
Thanks, guys. I am here with EDG's Ray. Congratulations on the win. I mean, 3-0 stomp. You guys were the clear winners. Just how far can EDG go at Worlds?
First, I want to say, I played in NALCS last 1 year. So I can speak English a little bit, but right now I have to say Korea because I'm so much forget English, so I'm a little bit scared. Yeah, I'm so sad.
그래서 이제 첫 번째 질문은 이제 EDG가 정말 압도적인 승리를 거뒀습니다. 그럼 이번 롤드컵에서 어디까지 진출할 것 같으신가요?
제 생각에는 저희 팀이 지금 아직 전력이 풀 전력으로 올라오지 않았기 때문에 저희가 약간 아직은 저는 예상이 안 되고요. 저는 개인적인 생각으로는 일단은 그러니까 조별 예선을 먼저 뚫고 올라오고 싶습니다.
So I think we are not playing at our full potential. So I just want to make sure to get out of the group stage.
And you mentioned playing in NA before, and I want to kind of look at that because your former teammates Cloud9 just qualified for groups earlier today. So kind of reflecting, how would you say your year of boot camping with Cloud9 and NA really helped you get to where you are in Worlds today?
네, 이제 C9 북미에서 활동하신 거 언급하셨는데 사실 친정팀인 C9도 지금 진출한 상태고요. 북미에서 그러면 부트캠프한 그 경험 어땠는지 좀 궁금합니다.
부트캠프요?
약간 장난식으로.
일단은 제가 롤드컵에 와서 다시 C9을 만나서 지금은 되게 기쁘고요. 왜냐면은 제가 전 팀에 있었던 C9하고 다시 만날 수 있었고 약간 예전 생각나서 저는 지금도 약간 되게 재밌어요. 약간 그리고 앞으로도 기대되고 예, 약간 그런 것 같아요.
So basically, I'm really happy to see my old team C9 here, and I'm just enjoying all the experience with C9.
and you guys can either get placed into Group A or Group C. But are there any teams, maybe outside of those groups, that you're excited to play against?
네, 이제 그룹 A 또는 C에 갈 수 있는데 그 두 그룹이나 아니면 거기서 벗어났을 때 존재하는 팀에서 만나고 싶은 팀이 있을까요?
저는 제가 가장 만나고 싶은 두 팀이 있거든요. 두 팀 일단 TL하고 C9을 가장 만나고 싶어요. 왜냐면은 저는 일단은 북미를 뛰었기 때문에 되게 북미에 대한 예정도 아직 가지고 있고 약간 북미 팀이 잘하기를 바라는 일단 팬으로서 그것도 있지만은 일단은 TL 같은 경우는 저랑 같이 C9에 있었을 때 임팩트 선수하고 같이 있었잖아요. 그래서 제가 굉장히 많이 배웠거든요, 밑에서. 일단 그런 이유로 일단 TL하고 만나고 싶고, 두 번째 C9 같은 경우는 제가 전 팀에 있었고 제가 이만큼 성장했다라는 걸 보여주고 싶어서, 북미 팬들한테 보여주고 싶어서 저는 그 두 팀하고 가장 붙고 싶습니다.
So basically TL and C9 because first of all he played in NA, so he has huge love for NA teams, and also in terms of Team Liquid he learned a lot from Impact while he was in NA, and in terms of C9 he just want to show all the NA fans and C9 players that how much he improved.
Well, Ray, I heard those names loud and clear. Congratulations again and wishing you the best of luck. That's it for us here. Back to you.